Jerry Jones, a year or two ago, had a line. He said, when I look back at my life in business, and that includes football, I've never regretted overpaying for something to get the best thing. But I have regretted going cheap, trying to save money, and then years later I have something I can't sell, I'm not happy with, and it's very limited. Yesterday, Jerry Jones had a chance to get the best safety in football. Jamal Adams is one of the 10 to 12 best players in the National Football League. He's a game-changing talent. In the NFC, loaded with great quarterbacks. And they agreed on a first-round pick. Dallas said, we'll give you a first-rounder, you give us Jamal Adams. And you know what they argued over? And you know why the deal never came to fruition? It was over like a fourth-round pick. Jets wanted a third, Dallas offered a fourth. Jerry, you jumped over a $20 bill to grab a $5. This goes against everything you believe in. This is a special player. Dallas hadn't had a safety like this ever. Darren Woodson's the last one they loved. All respect to Barry Church. The reality is here, this is a difference maker as a player. One of the 12 best guys in the NFL. And by the way, what was interesting is Jerry came out this week and he said he's not happy with how the season's gone. He was hoping they'd be better at 4-3. So that's very interesting. Jerry, the reason you're not better than this for the third straight year, through 7 games, you're 4-3, 3-4, and 4-3. There's a reason. Because you're not special at quarterback. Ever since the rookie year with Dak, and I've always said this about rookie quarterbacks, whether they're great or terrible, don't go crazy after a dozen starts. Because nobody knew what Dak was going to do. Nobody knew what Dak could do, his limitations. Then everybody gets an offseason to look at Dak. And since then, he's started through the first 7 games 4-3, 3-4, 4-3. You're exactly where you would be without a special quarterback. And, Jerry, you could have gotten a special player to help your special quarterback. You paid for Jalen Smith, he's special. DeMarcus Lawrence is special. Amari Cooper. You made the move for a special wide receiver last year and went 7-2 with him. Zeke, you paid him special. You had another special player. By the way, look at the NFC right now. Green Bay 7-1, a special quarterback talent. The San Francisco 49ers 7-0, special defensive line, special head coaching talent. Look around football right now. Who's dominating it? Special players and special coaches. You're the guy that told us, I only regret going cheap. You agreed to give up a number 1 pick to get Jamal Adams, and you fought over the compensatory little stuff that doesn't change. I went this morning and I went and looked at your last 3 third-round picks. None of them are special. All of them play. I like Michael Gallup. But he's not a number 1. And on your team, there are days he's a number 3. And if you count Zeke, he's a number 4. So you're exactly where you're going to be with Dak at quarterback unless you surround him with more and more special people. I thought Ed Werder had a great line. He said the Cowboys, had they acquired Jamal Adams yesterday, it would have been the defensive equivalent of last year's Amari Cooper trade. You give up a number 1 and more for a 24-year-old difference maker, a special player with time left on the rookie contract. I just don't get it. I mean, Dallas is always big. They go big. They don't go small. This is a world-class football player, and you argued over a 3rd or a 4th-round pick. I do not get it. I think he's the kind of guy that can win a playoff game late, that kind of player. Go ask the Chargers what happened when Derwin James got hurt. Their defense wasn't the same. Why do you think the Packers went and drafted a safety and got a free agent safety? Somebody on the back end. It's helped the Packers defense. Why are the Patriots always good at safety? Don't get it. Went small instead of big. Anti-Jerry Jones brand. When it comes to the White House and your professional favorite teams, right? You can always tell when there's a house divided because of leaks. Okay, leaks are telling you people are covering their own arse. Remember when Magic and Rob Pelinka were running the Lakers? They couldn't finish a conversation. It made the LA Times. The Clippers trade Blake Griffin, not a peep. Chris Paul, not a peep. They acquire Paul George, not a peep. They get Kawhi Leonard, not a peep. The Lakers couldn't make a move without it going public. And that tells you people are trying to save their arse, and they're protecting their territory. With the Clippers, everybody's in. Doxson, West, Ballmer, Michael Winger, the players, they're all in. It's a house undivided. Yesterday, the New York Jets, 7 different reporters had various stories on players being shopped. Le'Veon Bell, Jamal Adams, Marcus May, a talented young safety, Robbie Anderson. Why are they getting out? Mohamed Sanu goes to the Patriots. It literally doesn't make the news until he's wearing a Patriot jersey. I mean, it never gets out. Don't give me this nonsense, well, we didn't leak it, and all I know is everything the Jets do, somebody's covering their ass. And that's why it leaks. Greg Williams can't stand Adam Gase. Adam Gase can't stand Greg Williams as defensive coordinator. Chris Johnson's an owner, got caught on tape ripping his coaching staff. Jamal Adams is furious because he's an unbelievable player. He's on Twitter yesterday, and he said, they told me they wouldn't shop me, and now they're shopping me. And regardless of who's shopping who, why does it get out? Why would it get out? There's 2 people on a phone call. If you're Joe Douglas, the GM, and I don't know him, my sources like him, but if you're Joe Douglas, you just say, we'll talk. If it makes the wire, if I see it anywhere on Twitter, it's out. Done. I won't make the move. I'll trade him to your rival. That's all you got to say. I've done this in my life before. I've talked to people. I said, if it makes the newspapers, if it makes the wire, I'm dumping you. The deal's done. That's how New England does business. It makes Twitter, we're out. Atlanta didn't talk, and New England didn't talk. Think about the Clippers. They got rid of Chris Paul. Look, Joy and I wake up one morning, it's like Chris Paul's been traded. I didn't even hear about that. You didn't hear about Paul George. They worked on that Paul George deal for 2 weeks. Paul George was leaving Oklahoma City.
No one was even thinking that was a possibility.
Paul George leaving Westbrook. It would have been our lead topic for 4 straight days.
Right.
Didn't make the news. Didn't make Twitter. I mean, Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson, good God, it's everything. The LA Times might as well have been planted in the Magic's office. Because everybody was protecting their butt and protecting their space and protecting their brand and protecting their image. And so I don't want to hear about this. Joe Douglas talked about it yesterday. He's the new. I don't know this guy. I know people that know him and they like him. I heard he's a great guy. But this stuff yesterday, there's 7 different reporters leaking stuff, and they're legitimate reporters. They're not making crap up. A lot of guys had the same stuff. Jay Glazer was here. He broke the Leonard Williams story. The stuff gets out when you want it out. Okay, that's the only time stuff gets out. I have had in my career 4 or 5 major stories. We've been recruiting people at FS1 for 3 years. We've been recruiting people here. None of them got out. None of them. We've been going after our rivals' best people. None of them gets out. We make sure none of them gets out. We don't talk. That's when you have well-run management. Stuff doesn't leak constantly to protect your butt. The Jets are embarrassing. That's an embarrassing. Of course, I will give Le'Veon Bell credit. I mean, thank God these Jets players, Leonard Williams a good guy. Jamal Adams a great guy. Le'Veon Bell's a good guy. The players have been great in all this. Le'Veon Bell came out yesterday on social media and he's like, hey, let's just be patient. This is part of the business. Let's understand it. It was like, what a grown-up way to handle it as your bosses are leaking everything. It's just nonsense. God, thank God I'm not a Jets fan. How frustrating would this franchise be? Nothing gets out with the Clippers. Nothing gets out with the Celtics. Nothing gets out with the Patriots. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.